So this is Mrs. Misiolek-Lee, and I'm going to be showing you a few examples today of how to change a repeating decimal into a fraction in simplest form. So the first example says 0.55555 with 3 dots behind it. The 3 dots behind it indicate that it repeats to infinity. The 5 is repeating, so I've written it with a bar. That's the shortcut form to show us that 5 continues to repeat. We don't have to write out that big messy number. So what we do, the shortcut for this is we take the numerator, or we take our number that is repeating, which is our 5, and we make that the numerator. So we drop the repeating bar and we put the 5 in the numerator position. And then we take a look at where the last digit of the repeating sequence ends in terms of place value. So that was a mouthful. What I'm really trying to say is look at that place value. That place value is the tenths, Tenths, the tenths place. So in order to find our denominator, which we need to complete our fraction, there's this little shortcut. We take that place value and we subtract 1. So our fraction is 5/9, 5/9. That is actually in simplest form. So that's great, and that's our answer. And if you don't believe me, go ahead and put that into your calculator. Start at the top, work to the bottom, 5 divided by 9. And when you put that into your calculator, you should see across the top of your screen 0.555, and it will continue to fill up your entire screen because it repeats to infinity. So let's go to our next question. So our next question says change 3.14141414 ... to a fraction in simplest form. Well, just me reading that to you probably indicated to you what was repeating, which was only the 1 and the 4. So I'm going to write that with my bar, and I'm going to get ready to write my fraction by putting my fraction bar there. Now the 3 is a whole number. That little guy is just going to come out into the front of the fraction. So we had that whole number. We're just moving it over. We're not going to do anything with that. Just goes out into the front. So it's 3 and some partial piece of something else. So we're going to take the repeating sequence, which in this case is a 1 and a 4. And then that becomes our numerator. We're going to take a look at the last digit in that repeating sequence. This time it's in the hundredths place. Sorry, I'm having trouble with my stylus. We're going to subtract 1. This is our little shortcut. That gives us a 99. That is our denominator, and we are finished because that is in simplest form. So let's do one more. This time we have a negative number. So it's negative 45. And I'm going to look up here, and as I examine this number, I see that it's going to be 013 that seems to be repeating over and over again. So I'm going to write that with a bar just to get that mess kind of organized. Now my goal is to change it to a fraction. So I'm going to carry that whole number is just going to come out into the front. Then I'm going to take the repeating sequence and make that the denominator. So if I have 0.13, I'll put that on top. That's in the thousands place. I subtract 1. This becomes 999 on the bottom, and I will not need that 0. So I'm going to cross that out, and then, if you're using paper, you're going to need to erase that. So those are some examples of how to change a repeating decimal into a fraction.